フィンチ家の奇妙な屋敷で起きたこと、続きをプレイしていきます。ここまでの流れとしては、主人公がこのエディス17歳で、このフィンチ家一族の、これが一族の家系図ですかね。で、結構みんな若くして死んでる人が結構多いんですよね。この辺とか11歳、16歳、10歳で亡くなってたりして、という家系のなんか秘密を探っていく感じのゲームですね。では続きをプレイしていきます。で前回はこのモリーっていうこのなんかちょっと日記を見てなんか迫った感じですかね。ルイスが亡くなったのは私たちが去る1週間前だったけど、イーディはすでに彼の記念をちょっと読んでる暇はないですね。
Her room was like a museum.
博物館みたいな感じがした。
For 500 years, the Finches have been famous throughout Norway for their fortune
ノルウ
and
ェーなんや、フィン
misfortune.
チ家。その富と不運からフィンチ家は有名だった。リールニュース、リール回転。
Odin Finch buries the latest victims of the family curse. His wife
呪いが
Ingeborg
かかって
and
る
their
んや、この
newborn
一族
son
に。
Johan.
インゲボルグと生まれたばかりの息子ヨハン。オーディン・フィンチ。
On January 7th, 1937, he set sail with his family and his house, hoping to leave the curse behind.
家と共に船出する呪いから逃れることを祈って。これちょっと文章の改行がされてへんけど、多分家と共に船出するで切って呪いから逃れることを祈ってになってるんちゃうかなと思うんですけど、だから家ごと船で出たんや。
But 40-foot waves off the
ワ
coast
シ
of
ントン沖で
Washington
40フィート
send
の
the
高波
house
に
and Odin to the bottom
オ
of
ー
the
ディンと家
sea.
はさらわれてしまう。
Odin's daughter Edie, with husband Sven and baby Molly,
オー
step
カ
ashore
ス
on their new
島、
home, Orcas Island.
オーカス島ってどこからさっきワシントン沖って出てたからアメリカなんかなこれ。
Odin Finch is the first to be buried in the new
オ
family
ーディンが
cemetery.
亡くなった。
His daughter Edie is already dreaming of a new Finch house.
でこの流れ1日に新しい家を作って、終わりか。あれどうやったら退出するんや。どうやったら終わるんかな。
Whatever's wrong with this family, it goes back a long ways.
なんかずっと不幸が続いてる一族なんかな。でこの地に引っ越してきたのがこのイングボーグさんなんや。ちょっと読み方わからへんけど。セーブされた。オーディン・フィンチ。この鳥フィンチっていう鳥じゃなかったっけ。ダーウィンの進化論やったっけ。ちゃうか。
Even in her 90s, Sometimes Edie seemed a lot younger than my mother.
Happy 90s birthday.
When Edie told people Sven was killed by a dragon, she could
Sven
also have
はドラゴン
said
に
he was
殺され
building
た
a dragon-shaped slide that collapsed. She could have, but she didn't.
ドラゴンの形の滑り台を作ってた時に滑り台が崩れてなくなったのをドラゴンに食べられたっていう風に表現されてるんや。
Edie gave a big interview about a mole man living under the Finch house. My mom was furious.
モグラ男が住んでるんや。
I hadn't thought of myself as Edith Jr. for a long, long time.
イーディス・ジュニア。これ自分、私がイーディスだからイーディス・ジュニアやねんけど、もう一人イーディスっていう人がエディ、これがおばあちゃんやったっけ。2010年まで来てんやな。お母さんのドーンが2016年までで、ルイスが2010年。多分これ今2019年ぐらいやと思うんやけど、このゲームが出たのが2019年なんで、ここ入ったことあるな。これね、バスルーム。
The only trace Grandpa Sam's first wife, Kay, left on the house was the pink bathroom.
ピンク色のバスルーム。
It was a pretty big trace.
それはかなり大きな。マウントレーニアナショナルパーク。鍵か。シークレット・イン・ディス・バスルーム。開くんや。
There's a secret in this bathroom.
このバスルームには秘密が隠されている。
It's in the last place you would look. It isn't in the cupboard. It's hidden in this book.
おお、すごい。自分の姿を見ることできひんのかな。
Sven gave Sam an old camera he'd refurbished. He never put it down.
戻ることもできるんや。これなんかお腹出てるような気がすんねんけどな。鏡映らへんよな。これも普通つま先とか見えそうやもんな、下向いたら。 通れるんや。宇宙か。このカーテンすごいな。綺麗な。アトラスアイランドリージョナルハイスクールコブラバタフィオンわからん。サミュエル・フィンチなんか賞取ったんかな。サムとカルバン2人の部屋か。こっちがサムでこっちがカルバン。
I knew Grandpa Sam had a twin.
双子の兄弟やってんや。
And that he never talked about him.
あ、上の階があるやん。俺気づかへんかったな。
I guess my grandpa didn't like history any more than my mom did.
ちっちゃ。カルバンも11歳で死んでるんやな。
How I Want to Remember My Brother by Sam Finch. The thing I remember is that when he made up his mind, that was it.
好きがしてるのか。
My brother said he'd die before he ate another mushroom. And he did. At Barbara's funeral, we swore we'd never be afraid again. And he wasn't.
ブランコなんかもう久しぶりやな。
I think Calvin always wanted to fly.
飛びたがっていた。飛ぶんか。
Calvin, dinner's ready.
Coming! But that day, he finally made up his mind to do it.
これちょっと酔いそうな方申し訳ない。結構これ酔うかもな。私は酔わへんねんけど、酔いやすい方は酔うかも。どうすんやろ。 止まらへんな。止まるんかと思ったけど止まりません。もっとこがなあかんのかな。ほんまに何していいか分からへんな。こぐしかできひんねんな。これ入れへんもんな。もっとこがなあかんっていうことか。ほんまに乗ってるような気分になるのが恐ろしい。
I told him going around was impossible.
一周
Maybe if I hadn't said that.
Calvin, I'm not gonna tell you again.
Maybe if the wind
カ
hadn't
ルビン
picked
って言っ
up,
たらカルバンじゃなくて
then maybe he'd still be here. But I doubt it. I think he'd already made up his mind. That's what I want to remember about my brother.
だ
The day he made up his mind to fly, and he did.
あ、そうよかった。今度人間食べんで済んだ。
Calvin's story felt strangely familiar. When I was younger, I remember trying to do the exact same thing.
これでカルビンのエピソードはクリアかな。もう一人、双子のもう一人は
After the funeral, Edie roped off Calvin's half of the room. Mom said Grandpa Sam enlisted at 18 and never set foot in the room again.
おじいさんはね、戦死したんか。18歳で。やっぱアメリカやんな、ここが。アメリカの国旗があるから。ノルウェーからアメリカへ移住してきたんかな。いけへん。何やこれ。すごいなこの家。うわ、ジェットコースターや。どうなってんのこの家。
The passages were a pretty tight fit. They'd obviously been built for smaller hands and bellies.
これすごい部屋やな。覗き穴がある。バーバラ。この人も16歳で亡くなってる。
Edie's father Odin built the original house.
これがオーディンか。オーディンによって建てられた。ここでも来たことあるような気が。あ、来てんな、これ。今は上がれへんのか。いやー、これ迷うな。ここも入れへんやろ。これさっき見たカルビンの部屋か。カルビンともう一人誰やったっけ。スベン・ホフスタッド・フィンチ、エディ。エディはおばあちゃんやったっけ。これさっき今見たばかりのとかな。あれ道に今やってしまうな。行き先が分からへん。ここは上がらへんやろ。下降りるしかないよな。ここなんやろな。暗いな。ここはもう最初に入ってきたところやし、何にもないか。スイッチも押せん。ほんまにヒントも何にもないな。なんか見落としてる？これはオルゴールやろ？ここも入れへんし。 からんな2階かなやっぱり。ほんまにアウターワールズ並みのわからなさやな。こっから上がってきてこういけへんし、森は見てんやな。手がかりがないで。そんな行けるとこないのになんで分からへんのやろ。あ、入れた。こんなとこに入り口があるとは。あ、でもこれさっき来たとこか。こっち来てへんな。いやでもこっちなんもないか。ジャンプできるわけでもないし。1966年ぐらいで、1968年でえらい高なってんな。カルビンはここで止まってるってことはもうここで亡くならはったんかな。1961年です。ということはもっとこういう感じで行けるとこがあるんかな。
Growing up, I always thought of Barbara as a
あ、
child
バーバ
star.
ラ初めてか。子役スターというイメージ。あ、入ってしまうんだこれ。人形まで作られててんや、バーバラの。なんかビッグフット、マイフレンドビッグフットっていう映画に出たんかな。これがそのグッズなんや。 シアトルスターレッツ、ポップコーンそのままかいな。バーバラは16歳で亡くなってんねや。
I never thought about how hard it must have been for her afterwards. Of all the stories people wrote about Barbara's death, I'm surprised Edie saved this one.
Old Jack here with another ghastly tale inspired by America's most
世界
unfortunate
全米一
family.
不運な家族。
I'm calling it the surprise ending of Barbara Finch. As a child star, Barbara was famous for her scream.
悲鳴で知られていたんか。
Now at 16, she was all washed up. A has-been.
そうなん。
But in a lucky break, she'd been asked to perform her signature scream at a local convention for monster movie fans. It was just the boost her career needed. Unfortunately, her scream hadn't aged well.
Getting better. I think you just need the right motivation.
Her biggest fan and current boyfriend, Rick, was about to demonstrate when...
Now that was a great scream.
It was Barbara's father, Sven. He'd slipped into a table saw and had to be rushed to the emergency room. So Barbara got stuck babysitting her youngest brother, Walter. Her convention comeback was cancelled.
そんな理由で。
Okay, I'm hearing frustration, but I'm not hearing terror. What if I tried...
A gang of hoodlums in Halloween masks have been terrorizing Orcas Island tonight. Police are urging residents to...
That came from the basement.
You're right! Also, I loved your delivery on that. Why is your basement door locked?
Because my dad likes making puzzles and secret passages. There's a key hidden in the music box. The secret is to keep winding and winding until finally the key pops out.
Thanks, babe.
あ
I'll be back in a sec.
ーこれ下にあってオルゴールやな。
20 minutes later, Rick hadn't returned. So Barbara went to look for him, right on cue. She reached for the music box. And as she wound the key, she listened for Rick, but the house was silent.
それで開くんや。こっから自分で操作するんや。
She found Rick's crutch and imagined the worst.
The gang's leader is the infamous Hookman killer, Dr. Carl Hamill, who impaled and then ate his family 10 years ago tonight.
What? これ来た方か。
The old fridge rattled and grew still.
relax. I was just trying to scare you to help you find your scream.
Well, I'm not scared, Rick. I'm furious.
Then act furious. All I'm getting from you now is that you're hurt and confused and
She threw him out, but she kept a little something to remember him by.
Barb, have you seen my other crutch?
And she was still holding it when she fell asleep watching the late picture show. Hours later...
Barbara! Walter, what's going on up there? Ah! Okay, I'm coming up, but if this is a trick, you're dead, Walter.
また行くんか。これ刺さったままや。なんで骸骨が飾ってあるの？上でええんかな。
Walter had vanished, but his bedside radio was still on.
Orcas Island police describe the man as 6 feet tall, with a steel hook for a hand. Residents are urged to lock all doors and windows and notify the police of any suspicious activity.
Barbara turned, saw the hook man, and was speechless. He was quite smashing. He couldn't get enough of Barbara.
Okay, Barbara, there's gotta be another way out of here.
また操作か。抜け道があるはずだから。
That night, she played her part beautifully.
Molly の映画か。
Molly's door hadn't been opened in years. The hinges groaned. It wasn't moving, but she sensed the
そんなうまいことは。
story might not be over yet. The hookman had vanished.
消えてた。
She listened for his breathing, but all she heard was... At the door, she heard whispering. It was coming from inside the house.
Oh dear.
The monsters had come to surprise her. For Barbara, it was a dream.
Exactly.
And she saw what kind of monsters they were, and she realized what was about to happen. She was going to be famous. And with her final breath, Barbara Finch gave the performance of her life. I wasn't there myself, but I hear Barbara was magnificent. Poor girl. She had a taste for stardom. But unfortunately, so did her fans. Of course, the police blamed it all on poor Rick, who disappeared the same night. And little Walter? Hiding under his bed the whole time. He took it all pretty hard, but that's another story. As for Barbara, tucked inside the music box was all they ever found of her. Her ear. Now that's what I call a real eerie tale.
Edie told me all Barbara wanted was to be remembered, as absurd as that comic was. Maybe what Edie saw was a happy ending.
ハッピーエンドかこれ。でもなんで死んだかとかそういうのには全然触れられてへんよな。どっから戻るんやったっけ。これか。
I guess now I know why Mom didn't like me playing with the music box.
じゃあちょっとオルゴール見に行こうか。どこやったかなオルゴール。下の階やったっけ。これでどっかが違う。
It's funny. All those times I played with the music box and never found the basement key.
これかオルゴール。取れた。そういうことか。面白いなこのゲーム。ほんまにちょっとなんかアウターワイルズっぽいところ要素がこうやって謎を解き明かしていくのが。これがブリラード剤やろ。
Mom said the basement was off limits, unless I wanted another tetanus shot. I saw Edie sneak down to the basement once, carrying packages.
イーディはおばあさんやったっけ？暗いな。
I thought maybe she was hiding presents. It turned out she was hiding a
電
lot
気
more than
明
that.
かりがつくんや。あ、自動発電。あ、着いた。すごいな。
I remember asking Mom once about where Walter had gone.
どっちやこっち？何も見えへんねんけど。あかん、暗すぎる。こっちから来てんやないの？あれ？
She said after Barbara died, he got as far away as he could.
千万。シリアル。エクストラクリスピー。
If there's a pattern in all these stories,
ジグレイファームズ。コンコードグレープジェリー。ピースープ。ピーナッツちゃんはグリーンピースのスープかな。テイスティービーンズ。すごいね、食べ物どんだけ保管したのこの家。
I think it's that none of us has gotten very far.
Goodbye, everyone. I can't believe I've been down here for 30 years. On that first day, after the shaking started, I didn't think I'd survive a week. But after a few days, I settled into a routine. That's what kept me sane. Having a schedule, living for today. I always expected to be dead tomorrow. But if you wait long enough, you get used to anything. Even a monster on the other side of the door starts to feel normal. Almost friendly. And then one day, everything just stopped. Whatever that thing was, it was gone. Maybe it got tired of waiting. Or maybe I just got tired of being afraid. It's been a week now, the longest in 30 years. I'm done waiting. I have to leave while I still can.
できるうちにここを出なければ。あれどうやんの？あ、こんなとこにも本がある。あ、これ下か。ほんまに本だらけの家やな。トマト
I know it's out there, somewhere.
トマトケチャップかな。
Whatever killed Barbara
バーバラ殺した何か。
and Molly.
ピーナッツバター。ピーナッツバターこんなたくさんいる？スイーティークリスプ。
And Calvin. Maybe this is all a mistake. But I need to stop living the same day, even if it kills me. Whatever's out there, I want you to know I'm
こ
ready
っから
for
出
it.
たんか。あと鉄道が通ってるんや。
I'm going to appreciate all of it, especially the food.
さすがに毎日物の
I
缶
don't
詰
mind
は
if I only have a
きついよ
year
な。
or a month or a single week. I'd be happy with one new day. I can already imagine the sun on my face.
引かれたんかな。
Walter died when I was 6. I
53
can't believe
歳
my mom never told me he was down here.
53歳までウォルター生きてたんか。で私が6歳の時か。ああ2005年やもんな。ウォルターはなんであんなとこにずっといてんやろ。
I'm sure my mom was trying to protect me.
これさっきウォルターが降りたとこか。
Maybe she was afraid I'd end up like Walter. But if she never told me about an uncle under the house, I can only imagine what else she was hiding.
ああ知らんかったんや。ずっとここに生活してた間。
I don't want to make the same mistakes she made.
ハエの音がリアルやな。
Trying to bury something that's still alive.
幽閉され
Now
て
that
たん
there's
か。
only one of us left, or maybe two.
ひょっとすると2人っていうのはお兄さんのことかな。10歳ぐらいで神隠しにあった。
I thought it was time I heard the stories for myself and found out what happened to everyone else. But now I'm worried the stories themselves might be the problem. Maybe we believed so much in a family curse, we made it real.
終わってるやん。ああ切れてんのか。いや外に出てきたけれども。
I don't know if I should even be writing this.
この道で合ってんのかな。
Maybe it'd be better if all this just died with me. But I thought you should know about your family.
あなたに家族のことを知ってほしかった。あなたって誰やろ。
And the history you're a part of.
これ合ってんのかこっちで。いやもうこれ以上進めへんな。これはなんや。
Though to be honest, I feel as lost as you probably do right now.
こっち上がんのか。
I think the people in these stories believed them, for what that's worth.
自動で電気が作るシステム、まあ、2019年やったら可能か。
And when you look at the house, that history of imagination and stubbornness and madness, any of it seems possible.
これ道が分かれてるな。こっちはでも行けそうにないか。暗いな。
I think we've been surrounded by death for so long, we've just gotten used to it. What kind of family finishes building a cemetery before starting the house?
これ今どこ
It's
に向かっ
embarrassing for me
て
to
るんや
admit
ろ。
this, but the pet cemetery made me more uncomfortable than the human one.
これペット
Three
な
of
の
the
か。
gerbils were mine, and 2 had been my fault. Sven built the house, but it was Edie who designed the cemetery.
スベンもでも49で亡くなってんのか。エディは93。ウォルターは53か。バーバラは16。
I'm sure Odin's monument had been Edie's idea. My mom was always trying to move on, but for Edie, the past never went away. She could see it poking out of the water at low tide. Edie said she dreamed about the old house every night.
あれか、船にと一緒に来た家。これ戻っていいんかな。
Edie's side was always easier for me to understand. But the older I get, the more I can see where my mom was coming from. Her dad had been pretty strict, but it wasn't enough to save her brothers. She was just trying to do better.
グレゴリーが11歳、サムは33。ガス田か。13。なんでこんな家の敷地内にお墓を作るんやろ。ミルトン・フィンチ。ミルトンはお兄さんが行方不明な。だからまだ亡くなった年は書いたらへんな。サンジェイ・クマー。誰やこれ。
She lost 2 of her brothers, just like I did. I get why she tried so hard to protect us.
これ2010年から22か。こんな家の中にお墓がいっぱいあ
There's
る
so
ね。
many things I wish I could ask my mom now. Part of me thinks this is what she wanted all along. For me to come back someday and find everything out for myself.
セーブが入ったな。いや、今日はこの辺
But
で終
looking
わる
back
か
on
な。
it now,
どこがキリがいいんやろな。
if she told me there was going to be so much climbing, I never would have come when I was 22 weeks pregnant.
ああ、やっぱ妊娠してるんや。妊娠22週目の方で。すごいな、17歳やのに。これこっちで打てんの。落ちそう。大丈夫かな、妊娠してんのに。
I never met Grandpa Sam, but I think he and my mom had a lot in common. They were both pretty intense.
Dawn, I promise, you'll never forget this weekend.
Yes, sir.
These memories are gonna last a lifetime.
写真撮れる。
Am I gonna have to shoot anything?
It's a hunting trip, Dawn. Shooting is strongly encouraged.
こ
Perfect.
れお母さんか。
It's gonna rain the whole weekend, isn't it?
never forget this weekend, Dad.
That's the spirit. Okay, got it.
I'm gonna take some pictures, okay?
Just be careful. That camera's older than you are.
ピント合わせて。
Hey!
That's a keeper.
Definitely should not have drunk all that coffee. I'm just saying, I'm not always gonna be here, Don. You'll need to remember this stuff if you want to survive.
I'll be fine, Dad. Dad!
Good eyes, Don. Before you take the shot, let me get a picture of him.
なんかえらい雰囲気がようなってきたり急に。
Dad, I...
Just breathe. Let me get behind you.
Do I have to do this?
Don, you don't have to do anything. But if you want to survive... Great shot, Don!
まさかシャッター切るタイミングで伝わらへんかった。泣いてるわ。
I'm proud of you, Don. Always remember that, okay?
あ、そんな歩くんか。
Sorry, Don. Just gotta reset the timer.
うん
Dad, it's twitching. I think
That's
it's
totally
so...
normal, Don. Just focus on the camera. Try not to think about...
Dad!
あ何やそれ。えらい
Of all these stories,
でもない家
that's
族や
the
な。
one I wish most that my mom had told me.
あ、でも下の方埋まってきたな。一応これあれか、亡くならはった順に進んでんのか。でもないか、ウォルターは2005年やもんな。よし、じゃあここで終わろう。なんか不思議なゲームですね、これ。すごい。結構何やっていいか分からへんけど、情緒がある感じの。ではまた続きがありますので、今回はここで終わります。それでは失礼します。